All right, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Wallet Monkey channel. Let's grow your wallet, yeah? Today, we've got Q back in the building, and we're going to do a part 2. So let's recap before we dive in. Now, Q is a guy who has, I guess we could just softly say, over 700,000 in available credit right now in credit cards, personal lines of credit. He's what I call a credit whale, and he's somebody that's got a huge amount of intel. Now, this is important is because there's a ton of people on the come up, let's call it, that are in the sixes, high sixes, low sevens, trying to figure out how to really make all this work, right? Because the name of the game is to have liquidity available when you need it and when you don't need it. And this will allow you to grow your portfolio. This will allow you to get into other things, other hustles, and other lines of revenue or streams of revenue, right? And that should be your main goal. Average millionaire has 7 streams of revenue, right? Today, first off, welcome Q, welcome back.
Thanks
for jumping on with me. I thought what would be cool for today, now that we did a recap, we brought everyone up to speed. By the way, a ton of you have still not seen part 1. And I can tell by some of the questions that you're asking, if you would have watched part 1, you would actually be asking different questions. So some of the questions we're not going to answer, but I polled the community. We looked at the comment section from the last video on what you guys wanted to see. And I put it together into, how many questions I got? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know, 9 or 10 questions. That's what I thought we could go through today. Is that cool with you?
Absolutely.
All right. I think the first thing, a lot of people were requesting like, hey, if you had to do it all over again, I want to kind of save that to the end, but let's get down into some tactical stuff. So I don't have these like in order. I wish I did, but I ordered them and grouped them kind of like by topic. So let's just dive right in. First thing, how come you still want to get more credit? First off, 2 parts is, do you have new issues, which we both know this is true. Do you have new issues with banks because you have so much TCL, total credit limit? Do you have issues with the banks because of so much TCL? And secondly, why do you want to keep getting more credit? 2-part question.
Well, yeah, I had some issue with banks. For example, BlockFi. Whenever I apply, they have the pre-qualify. The reason of decline, because I have too much credit limit. Now, for the bank to issue me more credit, even if I have more, it's all related to their risk tolerance. You have to understand their mindset. Why are they willing to issue me more than others? Because I worth more than others. Like just an example, with Bank of America, after I reached the $70,000 personal credit limit in one card, they didn't approve me for a second one. I did request to increase the limit several times, and every time I got declined. Same thing with Discover. So it's not just related to how I could get up to $100,000 and then got a business card. It's all about the relationship. When they see my annual income, and also they transfer my call to a department called a risk management department. So there is probably a manager or some high tier upper manager. They're going to look to how much do I own actually, like how much do I have access to a funding? How much do I have like properties, investment, any liquidity, any cash or any asset that is easy to liquidate it. So they count all that. They take all that and count till they make the final decision. Why am I applying for more? Who doesn't like more? I mean, who doesn't like more? If I get approved, and also remember, I play the game right. So I got the most difficult bank. So now if I go and apply with PNC for a 4th card, I would say I will get approved for like 80 to 85%. Even if they get me decline, easily just transfer part or partial of my credit limit. So if I have the 4 credit limit and they're the same $50,000, 500, it's same thing for me, but I will have more options. So don't, those people when they say, don't put all eggs in one basket. Let's say PayPal tomorrow or Synchrony Bank, they close my PayPal $20,000 credit limit. $20,000, this is the highest limit with PayPal. If they close it tomorrow, that's like nothing for me. Just go and apply for another card with what they call the bank that I got approved for $15,000, the one that's located in Georgia. So I forgot the name of the bank. So I will get approved for a second one. Same thing with American Express. Why did they approve me for 11, 12 products? When if I apply for my brother, they didn't approve him more than 4. It's up to their risk tolerance.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. And we've heard this. Another community member went from a $30K FMBO to a $500 FMBO and then closed out both cards because they got mad. And that was $60K that they wiped off the table which I would have done the same. So it's like you're in a good position when you could wipe 20 to 60K off the table and you're still in great shape. Just go get more.
Exactly. Same thing I just did with American Express. Like I have a $25,000 business credit limit with Hilton Owner Business Card because I have the Hilton Personal, the free one, the free annual fee, the basic one. So if I close the business credit card, all the points, all the benefits going to stay there because they share the same points program. What I did, I transferred the fund. I transferred $24,000 to my lowest business card. Next month, I will close it and I will just open the Hilton Surpass. Let's say I won't get approved at that time. That's fine. That's going to give me a space. Next 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months, I will get approved for another product.
Playing a longer game, not too worried about it. What it sounds like. Speaking of more, what are your thoughts on inquiries? I know you got some pretty interesting thoughts on that, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Again, it's not just me. I have some 2 more people. I had this discussion with them that inquiries, I would say no more than 5 to 10%, like a decision maker. It's not a decision maker. It's not at all. We're going to go back to the same risk tolerance. I remember the phrase you used it to give the bank what they want and you get what you want. That's exactly what I play with them. So if I give the cash and I always pay on time, even if, let's say, we're going to go back to the utilization game. So if I have a credit limit of 700,000, let's say 500,000 is the personal, this personal 500,000, and I have a debt of $26,000. It's a big number, but in fact, if you do the math, it's less than 5%.
Yeah.
So I'm still, based on the risk tolerance, still doing well.
Yeah. So it's basically like, look, if inquiries don't matter, if I go and drop 10, 20, 30, 100K into a checking account, I pay on time and my utilization is a couple percent.
To be honest, even less than that. So 1,500, even 5,000 is enough. Even 3,000 is enough.
I agree. Inquiries tend to matter more on a thin profile with a guy who's got stated income of like $60,000 a year. He has limited history and he's changed his address like 7 times in the last 5 years. Inquiries tend to matter more for him.
100% agree, because the credit score, I can manipulate the credit score. The credit score is just a number, but it's tough in that credit score. When they look to your asset, when they look that you have paid on time, they will have the question, why am I, I remember Synovus Bank.
Oh, Synovus, yeah.
So when I went there, they asked me a question, was the vice president of the bank, and was like, sir, why did you apply with us? So what made you interested? I was like, well, I'm dealing with the big dogs, and those big dogs, they don't really, I spent $3,000, $4,000 annual fee with American Express, and they still don't treat me the best way. But you guys are hungry. If I give you my business and interest, you will do everything possible and impossible. Immediately, she got me approved for $15,000.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good angle. I can see how that worked. Easy.
Yeah. And remember, those small banks, they don't have that many open credit customers like Regions, Senegal.
It's not the same.
Exactly. There's another bank. That's what I'm planning with. I'm still working on it, called South State Bank. I opened a checking account. It has been established for almost 3 months. I deposited money. I made a $200 welcoming bonus. Their welcoming bonus is very easy. You don't even have to have a direct deposit. You can just enroll to auto payment, like a credit card. Just you enroll to the auto payment. You just make 2 in different months. You will get a $200 bonus. Now, if I go and apply, and that's the same thing to another bank. So I have now 2 banks. To be honest, 3 banks, because we got the credit union bank, the Navy Federal, and I have another bank called Ameris Bank and a South State Bank. Those all are small banks. I have never had a good luck with credit union banks because they're not really interested to help people in my position. They like people still, I would say, maximum high beginner. Based off my experience, might be incorrect. But South State and Ameris Bank, and they all based off US Bank. And I have a good credit history with US Bank. And I opened both checking accounts. And I deposited money. I'm 100% sure, I'm not going to say 100%, 80% at least, I will get approved. And if I get declined, it's Equifax credit pool. Who will care about their credit card?
Yeah, true. Cool. Next question. Was there a moment when you saw that there was a snowball effect to where, whether it was with the limits or just the total amount of credit, was there a moment or a point in time when you just saw wow, this is really starting to get rolling? And then second part of that question is, what's your lowest limit?
The lowest limit I made by mistake. And unfortunately, when you make a mistake, after you have this good experience. It's a mistake. I watch a video and they say, well, this is Tomo credit card. You can get approved up to $10,000 and it's a pre-qualified. So I went to the pre-qualified page. They approved me $2,000. I couldn't close it. I couldn't do anything wrong. I just left it the way it is. Happened by mistake.
Yeah.
Why the rolling? Oh, absolutely.
That snowball effect.
It's absolutely. Like now, I have no issue to go and put my hand $170,000. Bank of America, I can have up to $100,000 cash advance, 0 APR, 3% transaction fee, and it's tax write-off. $50,000 with Discover, and $8,000 with Regions Bank, and $8,000 with Citibank. So now I can have access to $165,000 or $170,000 just a cash advance. 2 years, no fees, no interest for the whole 2 years. I can pay the minimum, which is like 1% of the total amount, and the last month of the 24, which will be the 25th, I pay all in one. Like now, if you go to my Bank of America, you will see from a first month to the month 12, they are all minimum payment, 1% of the $17,500. The last month, $15,500. Why will I do that instead of that upfront? Because I know I have enough money in checking account. So my risk, 0%.
They were asking more in terms of, and I can even answer this because you and I have talked quite a bit now. They were talking about people trying to oftentimes figure out, like, how do I get myself above, like, if they're getting 2K, 5K, 8K limits on everything, how do I start getting 10K, 20K limits? What I want to note here is, like, you know, I've been talking to Q for a while now, like, he still gets 7K, 8K limits. You know, he gets sub 10K limits. It's not like just because he's got a bunch of high limit cards, every single card he gets qualified for is like 10, 20, 50K. No, it doesn't really work like that. And I know that you've accepted cards that are sub 10K. That being said, I think you would agree with me that, like, you tend to get higher limits that are offered to you.
100% correct. I believe the best way to do it, I mean, that's the problem. Most of the people figure out those tips after the fact happened. But I would say the best way to do it, if you still new in the journey, like, open a credit card with the banks, like open 2 or 3 credit cards, let's say 4 credit card maximum, with like Bank of America, Discover, Citibank, and let's say another bank that accepts soft pull to increase your limit, your credit limit. On my top of head is Bank of America, Discover, Citibank, and I would say, don't know, probably Wells Fargo Bank. So those 4 banks, if you just open the card with them and keep using them for 3, 4, 5 years, just like pay them on time, and you can request a credit limit increase every month, every 3 months, every 6 months. By that time, when you have a really high credit limit, like I had before Corona, I had 70,000 with Bank of America and 50,000 with Discover. So when I applied, the lowest credit limit I got, $10,000, the lowest. And that $10,000 with tough banks like Wells Fargo, US Bank. You know, US Bank, my aunt called me. She had a fantastic credit score, good income, but not that many of credit card. They approved her for $500 with US Bank.
That's crazy.
$500. July 1st of this year, they were in Atlanta, Georgia, and I helped her out to apply for American Express, the Blue Cash card. She got approved for $19,500, and she got approved for Amazon Prime, I would say $18,500. So how did the U.S. bank Attitude approved her for $500 because those banks, they start with $500. So typically she started with 500 and my mother started with 500. They are tough. That's all. Just don't start with tough people.
Build your base, put in the time, and soft pull. Keep hitting those soft pulls on the credit limit increases until you build up that base at those tough banks while you're simultaneously getting other credit.
The easiest three: Discover, Bank of America, Citibank.
Yeah, I agree. I like Citi and Discover. I think they're both real easy. What's your credit score, if you don't mind sharing?
I just applied today for the PMO. They sent me the credit. I would say high 700. I can get now. But again, this is not the...
No, it's not. So let's call it high 700s.
779.
779. There you go.
Yep.
How do you keep up with all the online accounts? And what's your strategy to keep cards open?
Auto payment.
Okay.
That's because, again, I have enough money on my checking account. You don't play this game if you don't have enough money.
So everything's on auto pay out of the gates.
Everything is auto pay. I'm not messing up, and that's it. Like, just an example, like some banks really difficult to set up like an auto payment with other bank. Like example, Region Bank, Synovus Bank, or whatever. I had a really difficulty with them. Fifth Third, I had a difficulty with them to set it like auto payment with my Bank of America. I just deposit like 4,000, 5,000 in their checking account. That's it. Auto payment.
Yeah, easy.
That's the easiest way.
How do you keep up with all the accounts? Like, do you ever like kind of forget or?
McDonald's. I'm gonna tell you, McDonald's app. Seriously, I'm not kidding.
Okay.
McDonald's app. They have a section called Deal. Like you get an iced coffee for $1. You get like an iced coffee and Coke for $1. So I always pay with Apple Pay there, and I have on my Apple Pay 10 cards. And every month or every 2 months, I just purchase something for $1.
Okay, got it.
Is it easy? It's very easy.
Yeah, very easy.
And just move the cards from Apple Pay.
Nice. Hell yeah, I like that, dude. I'm gonna start doing that. Next question. What's your source of intel for like credit products, data points, etc.? Where do you go?
That's a good question. I usually like YouTube, but I will say I'm the wrong example because I always try having the first experience. It's good and bad. Because the first experience always you're gonna make some stupid mistake. Oh, that's all I can say. But I will say YouTube.
Yeah, and Wallet Monkey, duh.
I 100% agree. I mean YouTube.
I don't even know why they asked this question.
I don't know either.
What's the biggest myth that you would like to debunk in the credit space, in the credit game space? What's the biggest myth that bothers you or that you would like to debunk?
99% of the people, they think everything is rules. It's not a rules. It's not rules. Like till now, I have a YouTuber, I really like him. I forgot his name, but he has like me, like 55 credit card. I forgot the name of that dude. He still just posted a video a couple of days ago that's American Express rules 4-5. Chase rules 1 business credit card a month. No, sir, that's not correct. It's not a rule. It's probably what of most of the people it's getting. But it's not true. Also, I don't like the way how they use the credit card. Like, for example, the card that Chase Sapphire Reserve, they extended the 50% extra bonus till the end of the year. All I do, I'm gonna work hard to find more points. How find more points? The easiest way is the sign bonus. Brother, mother, father, transfer to me. Help my cousin, help my friend. When you help the people for free and you make any type of request, those people will do it for you with no question. So all I asked my cousin, I was like, hey dude, what are you planning to do with the 80,000 points? He was still pending. I'm just gonna deposit it to my Chase checking account. I was like, no. Transfer to me and I will transfer the money that I will Zillow the money that you're looking for. So he's going to give me 80,000 points and I will give him $800. And in fact, I will take advantage of at least 37 to 38% in any restaurant in the United States.
That makes sense.
Till the end of the year.
We already talked before about how you're getting like 20 to 35% off on basically all your meals.
No, that's not just 25%. It's like almost 60% because the 25% that's from
that's right. That's just from Upside.
Correct. And 37% from Chase. But I have to have enough points. And in order to have enough points, it means you need to have like 500,000 or 1 million points. And in my case, that happened always because I'm lucky enough. I have brother, have mother, have father. Yeah. They have no interest in this game and they trust me. And they know I'm not really, so the money's for them. All I do, I just take the points for me.
So rules, basically, you think that, and I agree. I think that people take that way too serious. It's more like a boundary. And just because most people fall into that bucket doesn't mean that it's a hard set rule that never changes and it's set in stone. It's just not the case.
And we always Google is a great way to make a research, but this research is not a God word. It's a human word. Take those information and try to add something from yourself. Like, did you remember when I sent you the link from Regions Bank? Yeah. What did they say? They say the maximum is how much? $500? $3,000? Did I trust that on their website? No, absolutely not. I got an email, pre-qualified. I went to the office. Hey, how much did I qualify for? She said 10,000. And then she was like 8,000. Fine, agree. Go ahead and submit the case. And again, like whatever I do is 10 times harder than others because I have a fraud alert, like a consumer alert in my credit bureau, which put a note in my all 3 credit bureaus. The institution should give me a call, first of all, in order to verify my identity. So each card, like just an example today, I applied for the PMO. I didn't get approved. I got an email says we need more time. They were supposed to approve me immediately, but because I have this fraud alert and all this stuff, they might call me next week, next 2, next 3, and then take the card next month and a half. So everything I do 10 times harder than somebody else or most
somebody else. And it's worth noting, in case you guys missed in part 1, Q came here as an immigrant. Like, he's not born and raised in America. So like, he's already so far behind. Like, he could have gone the route of getting no credit or doing some dumb shit with like CPNs or something like that. He didn't do any of that. Instead, he learned the game, and now he's like at the top, mastering the game.
8 years and a half. I have been in the United States for 8 years and a half, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And I made some stupid mistakes when I moved to the United States. One of the stupid mistakes was, I remember my co-signer helped me out to set up like an auto payment on the Bank of America. The payment just posted in my account. It says, hey, we posted, like, just an example, $100. And then immediately I see another post. It says, hey, we post another $100. So I was like, what? They charged me double. And in fact, they didn't charge me a double. They charged me one today. And then another one, it's the upcoming next month. So what I did, I canceled it. And I had 3 late payments over 90 days. Kept on my file for 7 years.
Yes, I mean, you even had derogatories. So not only were you not even from here, so you're starting really behind the 8 ball, but you had derogatories. To everyone listening, like, what's your excuse? You really got to have a conversation with yourself in the mirror, because if you've got all these excuses about why you can't do it, and Jay, you don't understand, and Q, you don't understand, blah, blah, blah. No, we do understand. In this case, Q had it probably way harder than you did out there trying to grow your credit. Look what he's accomplished. So I think that should be inspiring.
My language wasn't good. My language wasn't good. My grammar was very good. Like, I remember when I went to college, they immediately put me in level 6 of 12. And this is a private college, so it's not really a public college. So I paid a ton of money for it, like $1,400 in 2014. You know how much that $1,400 in 2014. It was like $5,000 nowadays. I learned the hard way. It's just the hard way. And again, like most of the countries I lived in, like even UK, like if you go to UK now, 99% of the restaurants in London, they put a sign in front of the restaurant. We only accept cash. I swear to God. That just happened on October 2019, the last time I visited London, because I have a family there. They have been there since 1979, 8 years prior. I was born. So the game is completely different here. Completely different.
Speaking of which, I think a great question to end it on would be, if you had to start all over again, what would you do?
Chase.
Just go straight to Chase.
Just go straight to Chase. That's what I did with my brother. My brother has a Chase card.
And what did you do? What did you do first, though?
First of all, I started like the first month, I started with the top tier credit card. I call them top tier, even they are annual fee free. Chase Freedom Flex, City Double Cash, not Double Cash, the City 5% cash, what they called it?
I think it's Custom Cash.
Custom Cash. Everyone in my home have a Custom Cash. Everyone.
That's a great card.
Everyone in my home has a Custom Cash. And also Freedom Unlimited. That's all I applied. Then I stopped using the personal at all. I played all game business card. FMBO, Barclays, American Express 4 business card.
What was his score at, by the way, when you first started? And did you do any deposits, any checking account?
Nothing.
Even tricks, nothing?
Even his account, nothing. Even his account is not that high. His credit score was, I would say he got lucky because I added him as an authorized user. Or I would say most of the institution till October of 2021, September of 2021, they didn't look to the authorized user on the customer credit bureau as an authorized user. They counted as like a legit card. My brother got lucky. He immediately got approved with Chase for $11,000. The highest credit limit he had at that time, $500 with Bank of America and $1,000 Hilton Honors, something, the free annual fee. And that's all. That's all I started with. I got as many business cards as you imagine. FMBO, Delta, Barclays. I finished them all.
I was just going to say, what we're talking about is sole prop. So we're signing 100%. Up as sole props. We're not setting up LLCs, etc.
Very low income. His total income, I would say 100, 120. That's the legit income, 100,000. And all I did, I would say, I put his business income $10,000 to $15,000. So if the bank requested him to submit it, like, a paycheck, I immediately write him a check and say, hey, go, you work for me.
There you go.
It's a legit, and we will pay the tax at the end of the year, because he made ton of money from the credit card. And then I applied for American Express, and I counted by day. One day I sent him to Chase location. applied for all Chase business card, 3, the both Cash Inc. and Southwest. Exactly.
Yep.
I got the Southwest business. And then I sent him to Chase location. I called the branch. I was like, hey, I heard in the YouTube you guys have the 80,000 points with a Chase Sapphire credit, and also you would waive the annual fee for the first year. And he was like, yeah, we do. Okay, set an appointment.
Nice.
Send my brother.
Nice.
The same moment he applied there and got approved for $19,000, immediately, hour later, I applied for Amazon Prime. A week later, he's over 524.
Nice.
I just count the days because I know American Express. I don't know, probably the people who's in the game know this information very well. Usually American Express don't post your line of credit in the credit bureau till like second or third month. They don't do it quickly. So delayed. I took advantage of that because he got an unbelievable offer with the gold card. Was 90,000 points plus a 20% of any restaurant worldwide up to $200 cash back. So it meant we spent $1,250 a restaurant in order to take a full advantage of a $250 cash back, plus the 90,000 points, plus the referral bonus he got, which probably he got, I would say 50, 60, plus the $240 credit. Nice. So the card was like a mine for him. That's all I can say. When you make 100,000 points plus 240 credits back from the restaurant plus the 250 worldwide restaurant, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Well, there you have it. Start with Chase and go from there. All right. Well, thank you so much, bro. And we'll definitely have to do this again for another session, but we'll cut it there. Thank you guys for watching. Comment below if you got something to say, and subscribe. Like 60% of you are still not subscribed, which is crazy. So hit the red button to subscribe, and be on the lookout. More videos coming soon. See ya.